Good evening, I'm Kenna Stark, and you're tuning in to NMN Nemandria's #1 news station, and here's what's making headlines tonight. A major milestone for the city as construction officially breaks ground on the long-anticipated Fox Ridge development, a transformative project set to redefine urban connectivity and expand on much-needed housing development. Crews are already mapping out the primary road layout designed to streamline traffic and support future growth. At the heart of the project, a custom-designed high-capacity interchange, engineered to improve regional flow and reduce congestion on major corridors. In political news, the mayoral campaign is heating up, with candidates making bold promises on housing, transit, and economic development, all as early polls show a tightening race heading into the next month. And in economic updates, the city has finalized zoning and infrastructure for both the Old Harbor Industrial Block and the L. Fox Office Park, expected to bring over thousands of new jobs and billions in long-term investment. That's the pulse of the city tonight. Progress in motion and big decisions ahead. I'm Kenna Stark. Stay tuned as we continue coverage on NMN Nemandria's #1 news station. Heyo and welcome to Build&Beautify Season 2. In this City Skylines modded Let's Play, we'll build Eneida Bay, a vibrant city of our dreams featuring transit-oriented development, clean energy, and deep city detailing. In our last episode, we built a scenic and historic tramline along our man-made canals, tuned into NMN Nemandria's #1 news station coverage of the third campaign for mayor, and then wrapped up the last block of the Old Canal apartments. So if you happen to miss the last episode, then click on the info card above or check out the entire Build&Beautify Season 2 playlist located in the description below. In today's episode, we will begin laying out our infrastructure on the south side of the Eneida Bay Highway by fine-tuning the existing road layout, discussing road hierarchy, adding public transportation, and much, much more. We will also then tune into NMN Nemandria's #1 news station to get a pulse on the third mayoral campaign before wrapping up the L. Fox Office Park and Old Harbor Industrial Block, which will provide about another 1,000 jobs to our growing city. So are you enjoying building Eneida Bay? If so, hit that like button, subscribe, share this video with a friend, and let me know in the comments what features you would build in your dream city. If you can't wait to see the new season unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. And don't miss out on our Eneida Bay merchandise linked in the description below. Alrighty, so I'm wicked excited to dig my fingers into today's episode, so kick back, grab your favorite beverage, and please enjoy. Good evening, I'm Kenna Stark, and you're tuning in to NMN Nemandria's #1 news station. And in local development news, Fox Ridge is setting the new standard for smart, community-first designs. City planners unveiled the final road layout today, showcasing a thoughtfully tiered road hierarchy from quiet neighborhood lanes to smooth collector roads, all designed to improve traffic flow without sacrificing local charm. The residential areas are pedestrian-friendly with wide sidewalks, traffic calming features, and green corridors that promote walkability and safety for families. What sets Fox Ridge apart? It's seamlessly integrated with the region's historic roadways, honoring the area's heritage while upgrading its infrastructure for the future. Officials say this blend of tradition and innovation could become a model for future growth across the region. More on coverage on the Fox Ridge development coming up. So let's talk a bit about our plan. What you're looking at here is the finalized road layout for what will eventually become Fox Ridge. And don't worry, we will build this together in a time lapse, but before we do, I wanted to take a moment to discuss this layout in terms of road hierarchy. If you're new to City Skylines, urban planning, or you've just never heard of road hierarchy before, you're in for a treat. Road hierarchy is a method of classifying roads based on their function, capacity, and traffic flow. It's super helpful in managing traffic in City Skylines as it helps us decide which roads should handle heavier traffic and which should remain local with fewer intersection and narrower lanes. Now, obviously we don't have any development in this area yet, and maybe some of you noticed this before I did, but under the traffic info tab, you can toggle between two traffic flow views. I really love this second view with all the pinks, purples, and yellows. It clearly shows which roads have organically become arterials, connectors, and locals. So using that view, I thought we could build on our existing road hierarchy and integrate the new Fox Ridge layout more seamlessly into the core of downtown Eneida Bay. Now, one mod I'd like to use, or at least try to bring back for this section, is the Road Builder mod. I really want to use alleys in our residential zones, but I also want those alleys to include sidewalks. So we'll see if we can create a custom road type that does just that. So let's dive in. Just a quick note, this layout you've seen in previous episodes was never really meant to be permanent. It was more of a placeholder to help me visualize the area and raise the Blue Line subway to about ground level. or at least sort of ground level. Honestly, I'm not loving the layout anymore. It's neat, it's tidy, but maybe too tidy. It feels sterile compared to the more organic, messy layout we've built throughout the downtown Eneida Bay area. So I want to loosen it up a bit, make it feel more lived in while still respecting road hierarchy to keep the traffic manageable and honestly, to also protect our sanity. As we relax and build this out, let me know in the comments, have you heard of road hierarchy before? And did you know that second traffic overlay existed in the info tab? Good evening, I'm Kenna Stark, and you're tuning in to NMN, Nemandria's #1 news station. Tonight, we continue to cover the development at Fox Ridge with the grand opening of the Fox Ridge subway station, a brand new transit hub now serving the Blue subway line. This modern station, outfitted with sleek, unique open-air platforms, marks a significant upgrade for commuters in the Fox Ridge area. What truly sets it apart is its design. The station integrates a custom greenbelt stretching north to the downtown crossing's red subway station, giving commuters a healthier, greener travel. City officials highlight how the Blue Line extension into the Fox Ridge enhances connectivity, reducing travel times and easing congestion while linking residents directly to the downtown and beyond. For commuters, this means a smoother ride, cleaner air, and stronger community ties. After this short break, we will discuss the new interchange bringing citizens into Fox Ridge. Next, let's go over our plan to extend the Blue Line into Fox Ridge. First, I'd like to place a sunken station right about here. From there, I want to create a small green belt that allows pedestrians to pass beneath the Eneida Bay highway and walk down to the Red Line station. Based on what I've observed so far, the Sims don't seem to mind walking that distance, but if it turns out to be too far, we could consider running a tram line through the green belt. Which, honestly, now that I think about it, actually sounds wicked cool. Good evening and welcome back to NMN Namandria's #1 news station. I'm your host, Kenna Stark. Big changes are coming to downtown traffic. City planners have announced the construction of a new displaced left turn interchange, locally referred to as the DLT, designed to ease congestion and improve safety at what is predicted to become one of the city's busiest intersections. The project is a part of a larger infrastructure push, anticipating a surge in traffic tied to major development plans slated for the area over the next decade. Officials say the DLT will allow drivers to make left turns onto the Eneida Bay Highway before the main intersection, reducing wait times and keeping traffic flowing. Construction is expected to begin this year. Commuters are advised to stay tuned for detours and updates as the project progresses. Next, I like to integrate a new interchange into this area by replacing the existing roundabout with a displaced left-hand turn interchange. Technically, I think the roundabout would function just fine for the development I've planned here, but I really enjoy building interchanges in City Skylines too, especially now that we have network lanes over nodes. Custom interchanges add a unique touch to any build, and this time I want to try something a little different. In Pine Harbor County, we built 2 of these interchanges, and they were wicked fun to build. But for this one, I'm challenging myself to design it with as few intersections as possible. If we take a look at this image here, you'll see where intersections typically occur. My goal is to eliminate as many of these conflict points as possible by routing the left-hand turns either over or under the main roads crossing the Eneida Highway. So let's zoom in and get started on constructing a displaced left-hand turn interchange and see how effectively we can reduce the number of intersections in the process. Welcome back. I'm your host, Kenna Stark, and you're tuning into NMN, Namandria's #1 news station. As the race for mayor heats up, the third campaign is now making waves as the polling ballots see an unprecedented number of voters reaching out in the early stages of the race. With only a few more days left to vote, it's important to make informed decisions. On tonight's segment, we will delve deeper into each candidate's plans for the future of Eneida Bay, so stay tuned. Tonight, we're continuing our coverage of the city's fast-evolving development landscape and the complex role Mayor Fox is playing at the center of it. In a recent one-on-one interview, the mayor laid out his plan to steadily expand development zoning across multiple districts. The goal, he says, is to unlock underused land, increasing housing supply, and attract long-term business investment. It's a part of a broader economic strategy that undeniably has shown results. Under Mayor Fox's administration, the city's budget deficit has seen a dramatic turnaround, dropping by nearly 60% in the past 4 years. Fiscal analysis credit his cost-cutting measures, investment incentives, and targeted growth zones as key factors in stabilizing city finances. But while the numbers may be improving, not everyone is applauding the strategy. Several renters, both residential and commercial, have stepped forward with documentation showing they pay rent directly to businesses owned or affiliated by Mayor Fox. Property records reviewed by our newsroom confirm that at least half a dozen buildings fall under LLCs tied to the mayor's known ventures. Critics argue that creates a troubling overlap between public policy and private profit, particularly as zoning expansions could increase the value of properties tied to the mayor himself. Small business owners say it's becoming harder to compete with a key policymaker may also be a major landlord. Ethics advocates are calling for greater transparency and, in some cases, formal inquiries into whether the public interest is truly being served. We've reached out to Mayor Fox's office for comment and have been told a full statement is expected at a later date. In the race for mayor, candidate George Marble is once again turning his attention to tourism, this time with a bold new plan to put the city on the map as a premier vacation destination. Marble, who previously campaigned on a similar platform years ago, says he learned from past missteps and is bringing a more strategic approach to the table. His central promise, a tourism-first economic boost that he believes will significantly reduce the city's remaining deficit. What's different this time? According to Marble, it's all about connectivity. He plans to partner directly with the Eneida Bay Transit Authority to create dedicated transit lines linking major tourism destinations without disrupting the daily commute for residents. Marble says that by separating local tourist routes from commuter infrastructure, the city can welcome visitors without sacrificing mobility for locals. He's also proposing public-private partnerships to help fund destination zones, including waterfront spaces, local museums, and seasonal markets. Skeptics point to his earlier attempt, which failed to gain traction and left some projects incomplete. But Marble insists this plan is different, more collaborative, better funded, and rooted in smaller infrastructure designs. With voters watching closely, the question remains, can tourism be the key to solving the city's financial puzzle, or is it a risk the city can't afford to take twice? Candidate Oliver Green is drawing attention with a campaign built on the city's most urgent issues, the environment. Green has unveiled a sweeping plan to confront growing concerns over both ground and air pollution, much of it stemming from the city's aging industrial corridors. The proposal includes stricter environmental regulations on manufacturing zones, upgraded emissions monitoring, and a push to hold long-standing polluters accountable through fines and phased-out permits. But the campaign doesn't stop there. Green is also promising to tackle the city's reliance on outside water sources, a long-standing vulnerability that only worsened with the recent demand and growth. If elected, Green says the city will invest in localized water recycling systems and stormwater capture infrastructure aimed at reducing dependence on external reservoirs. Perhaps most ambitiously, Green is pledging to position the city as one of the country's major clean energy suppliers. The plan calls for significant investment in solar fields and the construction of a hydro dam, turning nearby reservoir systems into a reliable, renewable energy backbone. According to the campaign, these initiatives will not only reduce environmental impact, but also generate long-term revenue through clean energy exports, redefining the city as both a green leader and an energy hub in Namandria. Of course, such a transformation will require major capital, regional cooperation, and long-term policy continuity. But Green insists the time for half measures has passed and that environmental resilience is now an economic priority. As the race for mayor continues to take shape, the future of our city is being debated and decided right now. Each candidate brings a distinct vision, from clean energy expansion and economic reform to tourism development and infrastructure renewal. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Head over to the community tab on YouTube and cast your vote in our official mayoral poll. Your voice matters, and this is your chance to be a part of the conversation shaping the next chapter of our city's leadership. We'll be following the results and bringing you live updates as election season moves forward. Stay with us on NMN, Namandria's #1 news station. Shifting now from politics to development, big changes are underway in the Old Harbor. The recently developed industrial block is set to expand once again, marking one of the largest growth efforts in the city's manufacturing and logistics sector in over a decade. The latest phase of development is being fueled by a substantial round of funding granted directly from the mayor's office, part of a broader initiative aimed at revitalizing aging industrial zones and attracting high-capacity employers back into the city's core. Developers say the expansion will include upgraded freight infrastructure, advanced warehouse facilities, and new commercial flex spaces designed to accommodate both large-scale operations and smaller production businesses. Supporters of the project point to the potential for job growth and long-term tax revenue, while critics argue the city must balance the industrial expansion with environmental oversight, especially in historically overburdened neighborhoods like the Old Harbor. I'm your host, Kenna Stark, and we'll have more on development expansion coming up on NMN, Namandria's #1 news station. Let's talk about our plans to complete the industrial sector we began a few episodes ago. We currently have a high demand for grain, electronics, and petrochemicals. By constructing additional generic manufacturing facilities and warehouses, I hope to reduce, if not at least redistribute, the demands placed on the city's production lines. Of course, some of these demands depend on natural resources, and the expansion of these sectors will ultimately hinge on the outcome of the third mayoral campaign. For now, we'll fill in the remainder of this block with generic industry and let the simulation run to catch up with us. Even if the demands increase, developing the zone should actually help decrease our overall city deficit, which, yes, I know we're playing with unlimited money, but I want to try balancing the budget anyway, as this is a part of the challenge of the game I've been missing a lot lately. Welcome back to NMN, Namandria's #1 news station. I'm your host, Kenna Stark. Before the break, we looked at the industrial expansion underway in Old Harbor, but now attention is shifting to the heart of downtown, where the El Fox Office Park is preparing for its next major phase. The high-profile development, which has been billed as a centerpiece of downtown revitalization, is being partially funded through a municipal grant issued by the mayor's office earlier this year. The funding aims to accelerate construction timelines and attract anchor tenants to the growing business district. As steel goes up and plans grow more ambitious, so do the costs. Some city council members and local economists are questioning whether the current allocation, while significant, will be enough to see the project through to completion. Rising construction expenses, shifting market conditions, and the need for long-term infrastructure upgrades have all been cited as potential hurdles. And no confirmed timeline for private investment contributions, concerns are mounting over whether the city could be left footing a much larger portion of the bill than originally projected. Developers remain optimistic, saying negotiations with several corporate partners are still ongoing. Still, questions about financial sustainability and the city's exposure to risk remain central to the conversation. That is all for the evening news. I've been your host, Kenna Stark, on NMN, Namandria #1 news station. Let's talk about expanding this sector of the El Fox Office Park. I'd like to integrate a small mix of generic industry and office assets right about here. The goal is to create some job opportunities closer to home for the residents of Eneida Bay rather than forcing them to commute all the way out to the Old Harbor area. Ideally, this will help reduce our unemployment rate by placing jobs where people already live, and in the long run, it could also help ease the homelessness. Though I'll admit, I believe much of our homelessness is honestly stemming from our overwhelming demand for residential zoning. I'm trying to grow Eneida Bay at a slower pace than Pine Harbor County, mostly to ensure my computer can keep up with the simulation and reduce lag. So for now, let's jump into a time lapse as we build out from our cargo station into the heart of the El Fox Office Park. Eventually, it might be a smart move to run a tram or bus line through this back section of the cargo zone to help manage traffic, because this level of industry is definitely going to create some congestion. Alrighty, everyone, I think that just about wraps up today's episode. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on today's build. If you're excited to see the next episode unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. And don't forget to check out our Eneida Bay merchandise linked in the description below. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.